Well, here we are, another weekend coming to a close. I'm going to guess probably the 23rd, 22nd, 21st. I really don't know. Most of the leaves have turned. Got this beautiful oak tree here that's going for it too. As you see, I did the backyard again, moved all of the leaves out. I'm going to cover this up so I don't get any water. It's raining here now, Sunday afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock, 3:30 anyway. And I've read quite a bit about it, and you're better off leaving the leaves under the trees that have some value to it, because that's their nourishment. So I ground up many of them. I got to do it again next time we're here, but I'm leaving those under there for nourishment, because that is truly a beautiful, beautiful oak tree. You can't see it, but yeah, maybe you can. I just don't want to raise the camera. So I'm kind of zooming around here, but all cleaned up in the back. Not many leaves left. Let's head inside. My mower developed sprung an oil leak. It's got to be over 900 hours on it, and maybe it's not smoking. It's just leaking oil out of the left bank. It's a 24 horse Briggs & Stratton overhead valve, so it's leaking out of the left side to the left of the oil filter and above, seeping down through. So let's go inside here. Well, we got quite a bit done. My youngest son came up, 27-year-old, who's helped his brother install many a glass enclosed shower, and that's what we did last weekend. And I'll show you in a second as I go in. I showed you 2 weeks ago that we put the beam up. Came out very nice. We've got the rest of the trim up, and I believe I showed you too that we put a nice coat of paint. Battery's starting to die. Nice coat of paint on the wood stove. Well, let's go over here before the battery dies, because I still don't know how to edit. So here we are. We've got a new slate floor down, and we've got a shower installed. The door's not on yet because this upper bar, well, let me back up. 2 bars, bottom and top, holding everything together. And I'm going to have the door swing out from right to left. And there's hinges that go in the bottom corner and the upper corner. And behind here, if I can show you, there's a couple of holes there. Guess what? They didn't tap those holes. In other words, there's no threads on it for me to put 2 bolts into it. They're on the bottom, but not on the top, so we had to stop there. The door will be going on, and it's gaskets. But the floor went in. We started it last weekend. Again, Sean did set it all up, and we finished it and we grouted it. But I'm going to tell you what. Oh, it's terrible. When you do stone, you have to seal it first, or else the grout is tough to get out. And we sealed these and sealed these, but yet the grout was just terrible to get off the faces of each individual piece. So I'm going to guess if it was a shiny sealant, it may have been better to release the grout, but it was just terrible. You can probably even see some spots. Let me zoom in. Maybe right there you can even see some whitish. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just stepped there. Hopefully that's what that is. We've got most of it up. Another thing that we did just as a pointer, we put a nice piece of painter's tape around the base of the shower stall to keep the grout and the mortar off of it. 2 weekends ago, we put down this foam. You can see it over there. We put down this foam, 1/2 inch, with a foil back on the other side. It's an R3.3. And we put that down and put this other new subfloor over it. I wanted to create a thermal break from all of the 2x12s that are underneath here. When you pile up those 2x12s, there ends up to be 20 of them, a little over 20, And when you add up the inches, it's a 30 inches by 16 feet long of truly where you're bringing the cold air in. So this thermal break, putting these 4x8 sheets of half-inch foam down, breaks that and keeps the cold at bay. Don't get me wrong, if there's no heat in here, it becomes the same temperature inside and out. But it doesn't transfer that heat into the floor as it was doing. But there's a couple of things. You see it sticking out here? There's some tricks to putting it down, which we discovered. You don't want the seams of the floor at the edge of the foam because it crushes. So what you want to do is start over in a corner, put a full 4x8 sheet down of foam, and then cut the plywood by about 2 inches and 2 inches in length and width. Set that in place so that now your foam is sticking out 2 inches in the front and 2 inches on the side. In other words, instead of a 4x8 sheet, instead of 48 by 96, you have a 46 by 94. If you do it the other way, it'd be easier to cut the foam, but if you do it the other way, now you're slipping the foam underneath the plywood to make a tight fit. So that's another trick. Last but not least, when my son Sean did this, we found out that this floor was so out of level. So we raised this up in this area here, which was considerable. And I put a level on it from here to here, an 8-foot level, and it's only off by about not quite 5/16. That's great because this floor is lower, and that will, the vinyl plank or the, laminate floor is 281 thousandths thick, or actually 930 seconds thick. So it's almost a dead perfect transition. So you can see how we brought it out into the framing here, because the doorstop is probably going to end up just inside. The doorstop is probably going to end up here to here, and you won't see the tile on the outside when the door is closed, which is really what you want. The toilet sewer pipe will be cut and the flange will fit over, and you have to cut round the tile just enough to hold the flange, but not more than where the screws are going to be held. You don't want to get a carbide drill and start drilling through the stone so you can anchor this down. Well, you know, my assistant did an awful lot of scrubbing here. We were on our hands and knees for about 3 hours trying to get the grout off of here. So again, I'll reiterate, seal it and seal it well. And I would I like the matte finish better. But I would think that the gloss may release the grout better. You can see that there's color differences in the grout. That should go away because it's still damp. Still damp. I think that's about it. Oh, I washed the windows. Put up a little sign that I belong to Northfield Bible Church and Bible-based church, and they gave me this for my birthday present, so I hung that. The windows are washed. It's drizzling out. It's still a beautiful day. I didn't swear too much this weekend. I got a bad back and I could only stay down so long. But anyway, that's just a little glitch, but sometimes I become a little pity pot and a little baby about it. But our views are starting to come back over in the hills because the trees are going. Pine trees are dying. There's one there that's dying. That's great. I wouldn't mind that if this one's dying right here with the dead tree in front of it. And then to the left here, I wish if those take off or die, which would be great, we'd be back seeing Parker's farm again. So here we are, ready to go home. Another weekend down. Actually, you know what? It's October, whatever it is. I think October 13th, 14th, or 15th, this was completed. So we've been working on it now for 2 years. And we're somewhat well on our way. Kitchen cabinets, floor, a little more plumbing.